What if you could have AI run your complete business from marketing, sales, client delivery, and operations, and not as a chatbot where you're prompted to do tasks, but as employees that actually run parts of your business? Most business owners use AI like a chatbot, asking it for help here and there, and they still end up doing all of the work in their business, where they can potentially have AI employees that contribute to real value work in their business. So in this video, I'm going to show you what your business actually needs before AI can run it, and how to see exactly what's missing in your business in order to have AI employees. Now, if you want AI to work as an employee in your business, you kind of have to visualize your business kind of like a company that would hire employees. Now, if you think about employees, when you hire employees, you don't just give them random tasks. You give them specific job descriptions, a specific role, and specific targets that they need to hit. And if you look at companies, companies would organize employees into specific departments where they have access to specific assets that allow them to do their job properly and generate revenue and value into their business. So that means the first step, in order to get AI to become an actual employee in your business, you sort of need to treat it like if you're hiring a human employee. You need to give it access to assets, context, and give it a specific job description that allows it to do the job properly. So if we were to visualize your business as a company, well, we'd probably come up with a few different departments. So let's say at the top, we have the executive department, which is in charge of making executive decisions based on the business plan and so on. The executive department is probably going to have access to funding assets, which allow them to make that decision. So it might be a business plan, valuation structure, risk mitigation, everything required in order to make executive decisions. Employees that work in that department will have access to those assets. So let's say we have an HR team. HR team will probably have access to culture assets that allow them to hire people, train people, share team SOPs, technical training, and so on. Everything required to onboard a new employee, that HR team will probably be there. The marketing team will probably have access to marketing assets, which is probably going to be the positioning. How are you different from other people in the market? Where do you post to? Let's say social media, X, Instagram, or if you post any ads, and then data, which is going to be like phone numbers, emails, and access to contacts. So if you think about it, as you follow along with me, all of these departments have access to their respective assets that allow them to do the work. So creative will have access to intellectual property assets and brand assets as well, which allow them to be creative with their content. So it's a content creation team. And then there's a product team, which will probably have product assets. This could be your lead magnets, other products you sell, upsells, downsells, and so on. So the product team will be in charge of putting up a product, or potentially even like customer management. Then there's a operations teams, which is probably going to have access to systems, which is marketing and sales, which could be funnels, sequences, and so on. Management, which could be dashboard KPIs, and operations, which could be like onboarding sequences and systems. Now, if you see it this way, all of these departments of your business are things that need to get done in order to run a company. So in order to have a business, you're probably going to have a sort of tasks or activities that will fit within one of these departments. So if you were to scale a business, or if you want to get a business to operate without you, if you're a business owner, well, previously you would hire humans, and you'd want to have these digital assets in place so that the human would come in and be able to do the work right off the get-go. Well, the same thought process here is if we want AI to work as an employee in our business, in whatever task or job description we have, or department in our business, whether it's marketing, operations, creating product, creating content, or helping you make executive decisions, we need to give AI access to the digital assets. So these are things that I would call digital assets. So the key concept here is, if you want AI to work as an employee in your business, well, you need to provide it the digital assets in order for it to actually be helpful and capable of getting work done. Sam Altman predicted that soon we're going to be seeing one-person billion-dollar companies. And he's not wrong. Now is the best time to build a business based on leverage, specifically AI agents and digital assets. And if you're watching this, you probably think so too. That's exactly why I have a daily newsletter called the Chief Leverage Officer. Every day, I'll share actionable insights on how I'm building an AI million-dollar one-person business. The thinking behind the systems, what's working, what's not, and where AI leverage is headed. If you want to build a business that runs without you, not by hiring a team, but by building AI leverage, that's what I write about. Links in the description. And if you're watching this, I highly recommend it. Let's say, for an example, you want to hire someone in marketing, or you want to employ AI to help you with marketing. Well, if you don't give AI access to your positioning and how you're different in the market, and you don't give it access to your channels, which is ability to post on social media on your behalf, or you don't give it access to your email list to understand who's your target market, what audience insights do you have, well, then AI is not going to probably be a very good marketer for you. Same thing with the creative team. If you want AI to create content for you, it probably need to understand your methodology, your intellectual property, how do you create content, your philosophy, your identity, case studies you have, ambassadors. Giving that all access to AI will allow AI to become a content creator in your business. Same thing with a human. If you were to hire a human, you'd probably do the exact same process. So if there's one concept you need to understand here, if you want to get AI to work in an employee, again, I can't stress this enough, is that the focus is going to be digital assets, not focusing on the power of the AI model, which is still important. You want to also focus on increasing the quality of digital asset, because the quality of your digital asset, or how capable your digital asset is going to also determine the quality of the output from your AI. Just as you expect better quality output from your humans, you probably train them and give them better quality digital assets. Now, the next question you're probably asking is, what do you consider a digital asset? So a digital asset is something that you create or build. This could be a form of code or media that does the work for you over time, or helps you drastically do work faster. So let's say you have a high performing piece of content that continuously gets you leads, customers, and clients. Well, that's a digital asset because it's working for you on your behalf. Or let's say you have an onboarding sequence that onboards new clients where you do not need to do things manually. Well, that's a digital asset that works for you. Or let's say another example, let's say you have a high performing sales script that continuously gets results for you with your sales team. Well, that's a digital asset that allows your sales team to perform better, that you could even give to AI to help you handle objections, whether via text, chat, and so on. You want to sort of think of your business as a collection of digital assets that connect together, that allow you to operate your business smoothly and more predictably and profitably. Okay, so to be more specific, a digital asset can be anything in your business. It could be a video that attracts clients. It could be a document that captures ideas, a process, or something. It could be a template that you could reuse over and over again. It could be a database that tracks your audience and so on, or valuable information. It could be a dashboard that you could use to monitor KPIs or update. It could be a standard operating procedure that you use to operate parts of your business. It could be a sequence where you automate stuff. It could be a page. Maybe it's a website. Maybe it's a landing page that converts people into clients and customers. Or it could be a playbook where you have a series of workflows and standards on how you get work done specifically. So all of these are digital assets. So you want to think as a business owner, what are the digital assets in my business that I have around that I use to get work done in specific parts of my business? Once I collect these digital assets, then I can document them and provide it to AI to potentially become an employee. If you find yourself as a business owner that is doing work over and over again, that you're doing a lot of repetitive tasks, that is a symptom of having lack of digital assets. Because digital assets is one of the first things that you want to build that allow you to regain back more time as a business owner. Let's say, as an example, you're creating content over and over again. If you're creating content over and over again on social media, well, that's something that you need to work. You get a result, you get a work, and you repeat it. So the output of that is a one-to-one output. So every 1 hour of work, you're going to get one task done. So when you create a digital asset, because it continuously works for you, you regain back time and you get exponential growth. Okay, so let's say as an example of a YouTube video. If I post a YouTube video, a high quality YouTube video, that video can continuously get me views over time, that continuously gets me leads and customers over time. Just because of the nature of how it works. A YouTube video can act as a digital asset, while a piece of content on social media might not necessarily work as a digital asset because it might die in the next 72 hours. So this is a core concept you understand here, is the more digital assets you have, the more time you regain, and the more leverage you have. Because digital assets is what allow AI to operate your business as well. So you kind of want to think of digital assets kind of like the machinery inside a factory. The digital assets are the systems and infrastructure that allows employees to be productive in a factory or a business. Now, the thing is, a lot of business owners will immediately start asking AI to do work without giving them the systems or the machines to actually do the work. So it's kind of like having an AI employee in the middle of an empty factory with literally no machines and no digital assets. So you cannot expect AI to become an actual valuable employee in your business unless you focus on digital assets first. You want to create the machine, and it doesn't matter. You want to first make sure a human can do that work with that digital asset. Then once you confirm that a human can do the work or you can do the work, then you document it, then you give it to AI. So again, every part of your business or department in your business will need to be documented. Whether it's a marketing strategy, it's a business plan, or it's a sales process. You want to document as much as possible so that AI can actually run the machines for you in your business. So how do you actually get AI to do real work in your business and act as an employee? Well, there's three things. First, you need to give AI access to the digital asset. So this might be an Excel dashboard with KPIs. So you give an AI access to the digital asset. Now, the next thing you need to give it a skill. So you need to train it, your workflow and your process on how you actually use this digital asset. Then you also want to give it access to the context on how to use this digital asset in a way where it generates revenue into your business. So have it understand your business vision. When you have all these three things together, that's when AI is able to be an actual AI employee in your business. Now, real quick, I did record another video on this on my channel, going over the general infrastructure that you want to have, going over the skills, digital assets, and business context required in order to get AI to act as an employee. If you want that, you can click the cards above or the link in the description to watch. But the focus of this video is going to be on digital assets specifically. Real quick, if you find this video helpful, I'm running a paid 3-week cohort called Your First AI Employee, where our goal is to turn Claude Code into an AI employee in your business that generates you at least $10,000 a year in value. We're going to x-ray your business to find where AI would fit. Then we work to build your first AI employee that saves you at least 10 hours a week and generates you $10,000 a year. This isn't going to be a generic system. It's going to be one built, customized to you, your process, your standards, and your voice. If you'd like to join me and other business owners, links in the description, and there's limited spots I accept every month. So speaking of digital assets, there are 24 digital assets in general that you'd likely want to implement into your business. By the way, credit where credit's due. I got this from reading Daniel Priestley's book called 24 Digital Assets. It's probably one of the best books you could read as a business owner, because once you read that book, you'll know exactly what digital assets you're probably missing in your business. Now, these are digital assets that you likely want to implement into your business, into each department, whether you have it. So we have IP assets, brand assets, market assets, product assets, system assets, culture assets, and funding assets. And by the way, if you want this, I'm going to put a link below so you can download this and reference at your own time as a cheat sheet. So let's dive into each one of these assets. So let's say marketing assets. So marketing assets can be your positioning, which is your unique mechanism and what makes you different, okay? This also be your category of one. So how are you different from everyone in the market? Positioning is very important because if you don't have good positioning, people won't really pay attention to you. They'll just think you're like everyone else. Then is the channels. Where do you post? Do you post YouTube? Do you post podcasts? Do you have a newsletter? And where does your audience find you? And how do you actually post to nurture your audience and have a connection with them? These are your channels. Then there's audience data. How do you collect data from your audience? This could be your email list, your customer database. This could be audience insights and who engages with you. Okay, so with marketing assets, what happens is if you give this access to AI, what AI can do is that AI can post to the right channels for you. It can extract the insights for you from your channels. Maybe it could go through the data, your high performing content, engagement, insights, and so on. And it can focus on targeting the right people because it can potentially go through the comments on all of your YouTube channel, people that comment, and it can identify, okay, this is the people that are engaging most. These are the questions they have. These might be the next content pieces you might be able to create. And what this happens is that now AI can become an employee that works to grow your list, to grow your audience, to gain leverage in your business while you're busy and while you're asleep and doing things in your life. So this is why marketing assets is important. So let's go over creative assets next. So let's say you want to create content. So what you could do is you can give AI access to your media collection. So this could be, again, your YouTube videos, your blog posts, your podcast, your newsletter. But this time it's actually going through the content itself. So everything you created, ideally you give it the highest quality content. So AI can use that as reference to create higher quality content. Let's say it's your methodology or your intellectual property. How do you deliver to your clients? What are the three things that you do? What is the unique mechanism? Your signature framework. This allows AI to then understand it better on how you're different from other people. And then your registered IP. Maybe you have some trademarks, maybe you have a special formula or specific words that you use or big ideas that are unique to you that makes you stand out in your content. AI, you could give that to AI. So now AI can apply your frameworks to create content that sounds like you and actually generates revenue for your business. Ideally, more traffic, leads, customers, and clients. It can repurpose content for you. It can use your voice across formats and builds on what exists for you. So it continuously builds more assets for you, because a piece of content, a digital asset for you. And if AI knows what a good digital asset is, it can help you create more digital assets. Let's go into brand assets. So brand assets can be your philosophy. Like, what makes you stand out? What do you believe in? What are your core beliefs? What's your manifesto? What about you makes you stand out from other people? What's your vision? Because a brand is very important. Growing a personal brand, especially now when AI is going to flood the market with content, you need to have a brand that makes you stand out, because people want to connect to human. So building out a community starts with philosophy. What's the identity you're trying to sell? Okay, so that goes into the coloring that you have, the visual style, the logo, the voice that you use, the enemies that you throw rocks at, everything that makes your content stick and makes it feel like you're building a movement will more likely get people to want to engage with you and buy from you. So this could be the style guide as well. Then it's ambassadors. So how are people promoting your offer? What do people say about you? What are the testimonials that you have? What case studies do you have? What client stories do you have? What social proof do you have? This allows AI to then create content based on your brand. So every piece that you create reinforces your brand. So you have consistent messaging, your same voice, and builds recognition. Now, if you notice, these assets somewhat connect to each other, but the powerful thing about these assets is that they could be reused in different ways. So an agent, let's say, is a marketing agent, can always access these other digital assets. So think of it kind of like a network. I'll show you a visual in a moment and how that looks like. Next thing is system assets. So system assets are the things that allow your business to run more smoothly. So this could be marketing and sales systems. So you might have funnels, you might have email sequences, you might have CRM workflows, or you might have lead nurturing automations. Okay, you might have some management systems. Maybe you have SOPs, Kanban boards, project management dashboards, and how you track work. Those are things that you can give to AI as well. And let's say you have operation systems. Let's say you have fulfillment automations, onboard sequences, delivery processes. These are workflows that you can also give to AI. So when you give AI access to these, it can debug your systems, it can help build upon your systems, and it can help you extend your systems. So then AI can also be integrated within your systems. Let's say you have a CRM, you can have AI send messages for you or update you on potential prospects that have the highest buying signals. So you can focus on the warmest prospects that will likely become clients or customers. Next is product assets. So let's say you want AI to act as a product manager. You could give it access to your current lead magnets. This could be free guides, checklist quizzes, and the way that you capture email addresses. So these are free downloads that you give out. Then you can give it to entry products. This could be like low ticket offers, maybe a course. AI could look at that and help you develop another course following that structure. Or let's say you want to create another lead magnet, you can give AI, hey, this lead magnet performed very well. Can we emulate this lead magnet and create another one based on this other topic? Then you can have AI help you accelerate growing your audience by launching more than one lead magnet. Let's say you have a core product. So this is your signature program and your main offering. AI could look at your core product and see your main offering, and then there are upsells on how you actually sell people on continuity or higher ticket program. And what happens is now AI can help you customize delivery, AI can help nurture towards offers, and AI can help run product sequences, or even AI can help you extend and create more products that help you generate more revenue in your business. Let's go over culture assets. So let's say you want AI to help you with team management and so on. So let's say you have a leadership playbook, you have decision framework, values documentation, and how you make decisions. You can give that to AI to help make decisions itself as well. Or let's say you have a sales training that goes over scripts, objections, and call recordings. You can have AI act as an assistant that helps your sales team with the sales training as well. So now you have training materials that AI can reference to. Or let's say you have team SOPs, delegation systems, meeting templates, and how work gets done. These process documents, AI could use them, or potentially these can be converted into skills that AI can then become an employee and execute these standard operating procedures in your business. Or let's say you have technical training for humans, let's say onboarding docs, process guides, and how to do specific tasks. AI could learn them and then become like a support for people in your team and how to get the technical training easier. So AI can act as a trained team member. It follows your playbooks, makes decisions like you would, already knows how things work, and potentially train people in your team on the culture as well. And then let's go over funding assets, or what I like to call executive assets. So these are assets that allow AI to make big decisions in your business, or help you as the business owner make big decisions in your business. This could be your business plan, which is your growth strategy, financial projections, and where you're headed, and what you want to achieve in your business. So this could be a strategy document. Maybe you have a business model or evaluation. What's your business worth? How much equity you have? What's its worth to buyers? This might be a financial model that AI could reference to. Maybe you have a structure in your business, legal entity ownership, contracts. Maybe you have business partners and so on, and how it's organized. These legal documents AI can then reference as well. And risk mitigation. Maybe you have insurance, diversification, contingency plans, and so on. This helps you with protection. So AI can then access these executive or funding assets and help you monitor your metrics, flag when something's off, and forecast where you're headed, and then potentially look at the health of your full business and ask other agents in your business to give you a full report on how your business is going. So what happens here is basically your role as a chief leverage officer, which I like to call, because your goal is to build leverage, is now your goal is to document and create all of these assets in your business as much as possible. So then you can have AI operate on all of this. So then it becomes a network of AI agents that work on all of these assets that then answer to you as a business owner. So this is how technically, if you want to run a one-person company run by all of AI agents, well, you'll need to have the network of digital assets so AI can know how to operate the departments of your business. This is the highest leverage thing in existence right now, I would say. And the way that business is going to be going is that it's going to be a game towards harnessing the power and leverage of agentic AI, which I think is going to completely revolutionize how humans work and generate value in the economy going forward. So what does this mean? So if I go full back circle, if there's one thing you need to understand is that digital assets is pretty much the cornerstone of your business. Okay, without digital assets, you're probably going to have problems. So if you have any problems in your business right now, it is a symptom of lacking or missing digital assets in your business. So let's go over an example. Let's say right now you're not getting enough leads. Okay, so if you're not getting enough leads in your business, well, it is a symptom that you probably have poor positioning in the market. No one knows who you're for, or they don't quite have a reason why they should follow you. Your positioning is weak. Next thing is you might not have a lead magnet or have people a reason to opt in to learn more about you. So you likely would want to create a lead magnet so people can enter your world and learn more about you. Let's say you might not have good channels that are relevant. You might not be getting good enough traffic. You might not be posting consistently, or you're not getting enough impressions or traffic on your channels. You're basically not reaching the people that you want to reach. And then finally, you might not have a content library, which is used for people to learn more about you. You might not have a YouTube channel. You might not have a newsletter or something that gets people to binge watch and learn more about the service that you deliver. So this is a sign of not having leads. Because if you were to have good positioning, if you were to have a solid lead magnet, if you were to be posting consistently on a channel that was consistently getting you traffic, and you were redirecting them towards a content library that teaches them about the problems and pains that they have and creates buying urgency towards buying your offer, well, you're definitely not going to worry about leads, because leads will be like in abundance. You'll have so many leads, you'll not know what to do with them. Okay. Let's say the next problem is you're burning out on delivery. You just have no time to do other parts of your business. Well, it's likely definitely a lacking of digital assets. You probably have an offer that is super custom that requires custom work. So here's where you'd likely want to introduce a productized offer. So maybe look into implementing AI to help you deliver the custom work, or you look away to how to take the custom work and package it or create a framework that allows you to do it in a repeatable way. Now, I've spoken with a lot of business owners. Many business owners say they have custom work, but if you take a step forward, you definitely have steps in that process of the work that you do that has high leverage frameworks. Probably you can have a research phase, a planning stage, and then you have a execution phase, and then you have a review phase. So within all these phases, you're probably going to have big questions that you ask, that you answer, or big thinking that you do that is customized for work. So you can take a step back and then productize that framework and how you do that, and then document that into a skill that AI could help you deliver that offer in a more streamlined fashion. Or you could just create a productized offer where clients can use AI as a product, as a consultant, instead of you being the consultant itself. They could ask AI, where you extract all your knowledge into AI and the AI guides them into getting that work done by themselves. Or you might have SOPs, or you might need to create an onboarding or check-in. Because if you have all these things in place, you're likely not going to be burning out on delivery. Finally, let's say you have an unclear direction. You're confused. You don't know how to structure your day. You're just unclear on what you need to do to scale your business. Well, that is a lack of a business plan. So you don't have a map, and you probably don't have the KPI or dashboards to know what is leading to results. So then this becomes a lack of having these assets. Because if you were to have a clear business plan of what needs to happen, you know exactly what to do, and you can see the data on what's leading to results, then you likely know what to do. You won't be lost. Okay, so every problem that you have in your business is just a symptom of lacking a digital asset. Again, it's not about leveraging AI that's going to solve your problem directly. It's about building the digital asset and then having AI operate those digital assets. So we build the assets and then AI runs it. So now you understand the power of digital assets and how AI can potentially use the digital assets to grow your business. This completely transforms the economics of scaling a business. So the old way before agentic AI exists is, if you wanted to scale a business, well, you definitely create the digital assets, but to operate these digital assets, you'd hire people. And when hiring people, well, you probably need to pay a hefty salary. So that increases your cost and also increases your operational complexity. Because with each employee that you hire, you likely have to increase the number of meetings, the coordination, and communication in order to get the work done correctly, right? You probably need to hire managers. Once you reach a point where you have so many people in a company, you need managers to coordinate and so on. So that creates a lot of bloat and makes it really hard to stay lean and small as a company with high profit margins. So the more humans you hire, the higher the cost. Not to say hiring humans isn't worth it. It's definitely hiring humans in its cases. But if you want to run a business that is lean, you likely would want to have a mix of high performing humans that focus on the highest leverage activities in your business, which likely is going to have creative decisions, judgment, and so on, while AI does the repetitive work. All I'm saying is we don't need to have AI doing repetitive work. We have AI doing higher value work in the business. Usually the work they'll pay $1,000 an hour or more. Now, with assets in place, now you have the choice of hiring AI employees, which is the new way. So if you have these assets, each AI, you can employ them, and the cost of employing this AI is almost negligible, right? You could probably run with a Cloud Code subscription with $200 a month and pretty much have the equivalent of what you would pay hundreds and thousands of dollars in human salaries. So it's wild in the time we're living in. So the output that you can get done increases, but the cost pretty much remains the same, or it goes up in a very, very marginally compared to hiring humans. And again, this all starts by making sure you have the assets, because once you have the assets, then you can start to add AI agents into it. Because without the assets, then you're just having AI agents work in an empty factory with literally no machines, just standing there doing nothing. AI is just going to be a chatbot in that case. Now, if you'd like to build out the infrastructure that allow your business to run on digital assets and AI employees instead of you doing all the work, I'm running a 3-week cohort called Your First AI Employee, where our goal is to transform Cloud Code into a $10,000 or more a year employee in your business. So the way we're going to do this is, number one, we're going to map out your business model. We're going to do what I call a business x-ray, where we look at all of the systems in your business, the workflows, the processes, and we look for places where AI would fit best. Now, once we find your AI opportunity, that's when we look to implement the digital assets and then build out the agent skills, and then start getting AI agents to operate on those skills and digital assets in your business. Now, the goal of this is for you to regain back more time and for AI to contribute to your bottom line revenue at the end of the month. Now, if you're a business owner, I highly recommend you to check it out. All the details are in the link in the description. And if you'd like to get started to learn more about how you can use AI and digital assets in your business, please feel free to check out my channel. And I recommend you to watch this video next, where I go over exactly how you could transform Cloud Code into an AI employee in your business.